Hey, this is it. Mobile Beat Las Vegas 23. Mobile Beat for 2019 is pretty much over. They're doing a recap video right now that Jason Janai and his crew put together, and it is over. Brian Dodge just wrapped up the final session here at the show. Had a very nice room full of folks there who were there to learn about not only how to improve their business, but to how to improve their personal life. And it was a great little session. And I want to thank you guys for watching here. And if you've been following our videos throughout the week, we've been trying to get as much up as we could. If you are not able to see this because of internet issues, this is going to be recorded, and then we'll be putting this up later. So if it's after, let's see, 2 o'clock Pacific time, Thursday, if you're seeing this after that, it's because it had to be uploaded. So we're going to have people walking through here as they head on out. We're going to be catching some of them. I wanted to have them share their thoughts from the week and maybe a takeaway or two. Right now, of course, you're hearing the over the microphone. You're hearing the little video that they're doing at the very end. Again, Jason Janai and his crew. I think we are still going. I want to pop up. This is one of the things when you're going live and you're trying to keep watch on everything. I want to make sure that this feed is, there we go. I got to stop that feed. Hey, Peter, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining me here today. So yeah, it's been an incredible week down here in Vegas, seeing a lot of friends and such, and really focusing on learning within our tools of the trade when it comes to the DJ side of it. We've had a lot of great information between what was in the seminar room and up in the little smaller rooms upstairs. There's a lot of cool things that have gone on, and that has been a great time. For learning. I'm resetting one of my screens here, so just apologize. I'm off the screen. That way I can see the chat and I can see when we're on the screen, because it's yeah, I can't be running our typical live up and down like we do back at the office. So yeah, it's been a great show. The passes are available for next year's show. They have been selling those at the show. So that's something that you guys, if you're thinking about next year, the earlier you buy your passes, the cheaper they are, and they go up as we get closer. So that's definitely something you want to check out if you're going to want to be here for next year. The dates are set already for next year. It's a March date. And one of the questions people have already had that have been asking online and even here a little bit is, will Photo Booth Expo and Mobile Beat, will they kind of go at the same time like they did last year? That won't be happening. Photo Booth Expo is at the end of February. Mobile Beat will be happening here in this about the same time frame in March, this kind of mid-March time frame. So you're not going to be able to hit both of them at the same time, which was, there was some convenience to that. And on the flip side is that you missed a lot of one or the other. You're able to hit exhibit halls and such back and forth. But if you wanted to catch the educational side, it was like, well, it takes a long time to get through Photo Booth Expo, and then that meant you might miss some of the educational content, and that's, for myself, if you're going to make the trip down and do your thing, you want to be here and to be able to experience not only there, but the little sessions. One that's going on up there was Ben Stowe teaching kind of an introductory and a kind of a beginner and more mid audio class up there, which if you guys have heard about the audio symposium, it's a lot of the same kind of things as that we're talked about there. They were offering that with your pass upstairs. And then of course you had Mike Walter upstairs. Mike Walter doing an MC, kind of a hands-on workshop, which was the same type of things he does with his staff. And I was walking by, and I don't know how Mike does it. Mike spoke Monday. And then he's been doing these classes, getting 30 people in there and running them through and talking and doing a lot. He sounded just as good today, this afternoon at, I think I saw him about noon, 11 noon, whatever it was I walked by. The guy's got a voice that can handle that kind of abuse. I couldn't talk and be that engaged with folks because I've lost my voice by now. But Mike has got a gift when it comes to that. So, no, they will not. With Jason Jan, I'm just catching some of the questions. They did they had the final four yesterday. They were on stage. They each had a little spin component that they did, and I don't know if I was able to stream anything. I don't think I streamed. I was wondering if I uploaded something. I got to check when I get back to the airport and I have really good internet connection. That's when I'm going to check. But 4 of them spun yesterday. They did interviews last night. They're going to do, I think, 2 more rounds of interviews with the final 2 that they're going to choose. And then I believe in 2 weeks they're going to be announcing, first part of April, I think, is when they're going to be announcing who's going to be taking over for Jason Janai. For those of you who don't know, Jason Janai is the DJ who is on stage and kind of filling in between. So as one speaker goes, Jason was mixing, and they would make the announcement, and then he'd mix, and then he's off the stage. But that was kind of his job, and he would warm up for some of the evening entertainment. He's did that a couple of times over the last few years, so he's really been playing an instrumental role of making that stage happen. And Jason is stepping away after 5 years. Really, as he said earlier, that was actually when we got to sit through Jason's little seminar that he did this afternoon. It isn't something that he really wants to do, but it's something that he feels he needs to do because he's been there and he's put his time in there. And Jason is a very diverse man, and he's going to be doing more things and going different directions. And he announced a different thing he was doing during his presentation. So he's opening the door for the next people to come in for this year's, or I should say for next year's show and beyond. I'm going to get microphones get a microphone set up here, so I can grab as some folks could. My first victim.
Am I really going to be on this?
Yes, you are. You are. We are live. We're broadcasting the world. Takeaway. It's a quick takeaway from the show.
Education was fantastic this year. Brian Dodge is always a great ending to the show. And I love the fact that he talked not just about business, but he talked about balance and family. And that's a big thing for me. So I always love getting that
reminder. Kicking the pants, I think, is what he probably.
Yeah. It was fantastic. It's always exciting to see what's going to happen next year and how the bar gets raised. But I think overall education was fantastic.
Yeah, some good stuff out there. Very good. And now you're headed back to South Dakota.
It's tomorrow morning.
Oh, nice.
Tomorrow morning.
So
but, hopefully just have some good dinners tonight and
enjoy some time to
that
decompress.
Networking has been fantastic this year as well. So
yeah, great, wonderful, Jeremy. I'm going to grab Glenn.
Yeah.
Jump in here. Come on, Glenn. Who
G'day.
I think you might have traveled the farthest, but I'm not going to say for surely because somebody came from. I heard another that had come along.
Someone came from Sydney. I think it's Sydney or Melbourne.
I believe some. So goodness, they've traveled farther than Minnesota. I'm just going to say it. Just farther than Minnesota. Glenn, what a takeaway? What was something that just kind of stood out from this year's show? I mean, there were a lot of things, but if you could share what?
Yeah, I was actually thinking of this morning, what my biggest takeaway was, and it changed today. Brian Dodge in there, just that I can't swear on this. So it's that encouragement to just not make an excuse, just to get it done, and that really resonated with me. And free time is a distraction. That was a big one, and you don't need it. Well, you need it, but
understanding the distractions are there and dealing with it. That was a big thing. Yeah.
And the other one for me was just investing in the people in my team, those who are around me, those who support me. I've got to give that back. I've got to help them and grow together.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I've always enjoyed Brian Dodge. He's a wonderful, wonderful speaker. So, guys, I'm going to let you guys keep going. I'll take that, Glenn. Thank you, gentlemen. Good seeing you down here. Yep, catch you guys later. So that's one of the cool things about coming to shows like this, whether it's DJ Expo, Midwest DJs Live, any of the shows, Mobile Beat here, is you get to not only see some of your friends, but you're seeing people from literally around the world, and you get to meet new people and such. There's Ryan, the man behind Mobile Beat, working, going through and checking. You're off camera right now. We are live.
We're live.
We are live.
Interweb thing.
This is that internet thing. They talk about it. The kids are all
information superhighway.
Yeah,
circa 1995, baby.
All the kids are talking about it. It's great, man. We made it.
We made it. I'm ready to crash, and then in about a week we start rolling for next year. Start working on it already. We got some ideas. Always improving, just like what you should be doing with your own mobile company.
Yep, and Brian Dodge, what a great way to bookend this. He knocks it out. You had Mike on one side, Brian on the other, and a lot of great between the two. That was just a great experience. So
look for more news coming. We'll feed the whole gang at Disc Jockey News with everything that's happening. Sounds good. And see you here next year.
That sounds great, Ryan. I'll let you get back to her there as you're working away around the room, and they're doing their thing. So yeah, we are coming. I'm going to check it. Jerry, yep, DJ Jer. My father is not outgoing. Yes, it'll be at the Tropicana again. I'm just following the chat here. Tropicana again next year. I believe that next year they announced that it's going to be here, and they've announced the dates. And that's on the website out at mobilebeatlasvegas.com. I believe if you scroll to the bottom of the page, that it's going to be down there where you can go and check all of that out. And to be able to put it on your calendar. And this is one of the big things is that I'm not gonna lie to you. It does cost money to come down here, and it does cost quite a bit to do this if you're going to do it and do it properly. What I mean by that is that you don't want to come down here and not to be able to go and enjoy when a group is going to dinner, like Jeremy and Glenn. They are part of a couple of different groups that went out for dinner, and they can be a little on the expensive side. To make this work is what you need to do is basically commit to yourself that you're going to be putting aside $25 to $30, maybe $50 a week, from shows, something to that effect. I generally recommend about $25 a week. You put $25 a week every week away off to the side, and then when it gets time to buy your passes, you've got the money, or you buy your pass now and then you've got that done. But that way you've got money in the bank, so you're not having to go and put this trip on a credit card. You're going to be much more relaxed, much more comfortable, and then you'll have the ability to make the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to go with this group because I think I'm going to network and be able to learn from that group more. And that's such a huge part of this show. Just a great opportunity to learn, to network, and to grow yourself and your business. And that's really been kind of a key in the last few years, is that growing of yourself over the business. We've always talked about the business side of it, but more people are understanding that if we're not taking care of our personal side, that just doesn't go. So thank you, man. Thank you much. I want to try to grab a couple more people as they're coming through because a lot of folks are in there. Brian has got some people up on stage who want to come up and get pictures with him and shake his hand and thank him for his very inspirational message and functional message of what some of the things you can use on your business and such. Next year, I believe, the show passes for this year, I think we're most of the time around at $250. You're probably going to be seeing that this summer, is that $250 range. I'm just spitballing here. It could be something completely different. I've talked to numerous people who bought the premium pass, which gives you the front row seating. You guys will get to see the video. I talked to someone about that yesterday, day before. But the front row seating with the tables, with the charging capability, and then they had some VIP treatment things and kind of helped them through the process a little bit and showed them different things. Those were more expensive. Everyone I've talked to that had opted for that said it was very, very valuable, and they were very happy they had spent the additional funds. I want to say that those might have been $500 for that. I couldn't. Again, don't mark my words. Go out to the website, and maybe they are showing you numbers already. Las Vegas, mobilebeatlasvegas.com, where you guys can go check that out. I wanted to catch Aaron there as he's coming through. Just a lot of conversation going on. I mean, just kind of, you can see, all the way across the room that there's just a lot of people just chatting and talking. So I'm just trying to follow the chat here too. So if you have any questions, you can put those in the chat, and I'll do my best to get those answered. We'll be live here for a few more minutes. I want to try to have a couple more people share from what their personal takeaway or what they learned from this year's show. But they're so stuck in their room, enjoying that moment. And this is a cool thing about doing a show in person compared to watching one of our online shows. We do a lot of great online content, don't get me wrong, but there's time where you will see something, and Brian Dodge is a prime example of that. You'll see Brian talk about or hear him talk about something, and you need to digest it. And sometimes in this realm, digesting with a group of people and say, hey, I've never thought of it this way. As you're listening and thinking about it, and you're like, this is something. And then you've got a friend next to you, and your friend is going to be able to share. I mean, as Glenn just mentioned here a second ago, talking about a couple of his takeaways in the way of building staff and building those around you. It's just so many little nuggets, and it's always nice to be able to kind of compare notes as you're doing that. And even for some of our shows, when we've done our show and then we've had kind of a hangout afterwards, and people have been able to chat, or they've been talking about it in the chat room during one of our live shows, and that really helps tremendously. There, Aaron, you're done. I wanted you to come on up. We're talking takeaways. Something that you picked up from the show, or something that just kind of struck a chord with you today. And we are live right now, so we got to keep it cleaner than Jason Janai. Yeah, something about the East Coast boys like to be colorful.
Yes.
So what stood out for you?
So takeaways. Well, obviously Instagram, and how I know nothing about Instagram. And I was actually almost embarrassed that the last thing I had posted on Instagram was from last September. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I've posted more times on Instagram for the Instagram story in the last 24 hours than I posted in the last year.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing some traction from it.
Sure.
So I'm going to have to now figure out like the specifics of
exactly.
it. And then optimize and measure and test, and because I'm a huge numbers freak. So.
Yeah, exactly. So and that's an area in which I've dabbled.
Yeah.
But not to the level, and as Jason, he's mentioned it numerous times, and Vanessa mentioned it, that's an area that I'm going to be looking at heavily too in this.
It is. But the other thing that I always get, so my first mobile beat was in 2014.
Okay.
And I've been coming every year since. And every year I come, my business grows.
Nice.
And it's all about the return on investment. And I don't come for the parties. I don't come for the friendship. I do come. I get that out of here, but I come focused on my business, looking at what can I do, how can I improve, why are other people doing the things they're doing, and what can I then take and implement in my own business. Since
you're a numbers guy, and I know what level of numbers guy you are, how do you think this has affected your business in its growth? If you could go and say it's been a X percent or something that where you've been able to see a real growth.
Yeah, I'd have to do more in-depth analysis on like the specifics from like attributing to MobileBeat.
Yep.
But I started as a DJ working in a multi-op company, attended MobileBeat in February of 2014. I ended up buying the company I was working for in July of 2014. And at that time, the company was doing about 500 events a year.
Sure.
We did 1,700 events last year.
Wow. And
so
for those of you,
years.
thinking that the market he's in is not competitive and he's the only DJ company in town.
86,000 people in my market. Now, granted, it is a slight destination market, being the north shore of Lake Superior, 2 hours north of Minneapolis. So brides from Minneapolis will travel up to the North Shore.
Right.
But there's another large multi-op DJ company in my market, and then there is a bunch of other smaller single-op companies who are all former DJs from my company from before I had bought it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of competition in the market, and yet you've been able to grow from the things that you've learned here and another training that you've taken, because you are a student of the business.
Absolutely, and I've taken our average price for a wedding from $700 when I bought the company to now our average wedding in Duluth is $1,100.
Nice. Very nice. Growth on both sides, which is really important if you want to run a business. It is. Yeah. Well, wonderful, Aaron. I'll let you get back to your things, but I wanted to just have you come over and share, because I know that you're the kind of guy who takes the information and utilizes the information and the numbers side of it. He'll probably have a report for me next week of every. And you think I'm facetious? No, he will.
Speaking on that, I had a conversation last night about somebody talking about conversion rates, focusing on their conversion rate, and how some changes they made to their website was an actual improvement in their conversion rate.
Oh.
And then I was struggling that with my wedding show list, I had grown it from 1,200 potential brides to 7,000 potential brides on my marketing list.
Okay.
But I only saw a net increase of about 5 to 10% in sales. So a multi-100% increase in the number of leads did not result in increased sales. And so thinking about conversion rates, so now I'm focusing on conversion, on sales, improving our sales process and conversion to get better bookings. But if you have 1,000 leads and you have a 5% conversion ratio, you get 50 bookings. If you have 50 leads and you have an 80% conversion ratio, you get 40 bookings. So conversion ratio alone is not the number that matters. Ultimately, the number that matters is the number of bookings times the revenue per booking equals the dollar in your bank account. Is the dollar in your bank account growing year after year?
Yeah, that would be. That's the important part, because, a lot of times we are busy or we're going, but we're selling cheaper shows or something to that effect. The next thing you know, it's like, why is my line of credit maxed out again?
Yeah.
Not that it's ever happened.
No.
Aaron, thank you very much, my friend. Good seeing you. I appreciate all the information and your passion for numbers and such, and I'll look for those numbers next week. All right. So we are coming to you live right now from Mobile Beat Las Vegas. It has concluded, and people are walking out the door and doing their thing, getting an idea from some of the takeaways from the folks for the week here. I'm just checking chat. We're good with the chat and such, and I'm going to try to see if I can see if I can catch a couple more people as they walk out here. But yeah, it's one of those times when you hear we're about 20 after 2, and a lot of people are flying out on 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock flights over at the airport. So it's finished, and we got to hustle right out the door, and that's okay. We have a little bit later flight, but we're still headed out here in a little bit ourselves. So it is one of those. There's a couple of people I'd like to try to catch here, and I don't know if and here's one of them actually that's just coming out. So we'll see if he gets all the way over here. Otherwise, we're going to wrap things up. So I only wanted to go for about a half an hour today on that. Rick, come on, Rick. Rick Webb is here. We are live.
All my fans will know I had a fan came and brought me Bang, and I am beyond ecstatic.
Wow.
Because I don't know where the heck to find these here.
But they found one for you and brought it there.
What's up?
Tell us a takeaway. What's something that stood out from the show this year? What did you take from this?
Just being here. I mean, this is my first year here.
Uh-huh.
So just being here and actually, like, people talk about what all's here and stuff and, like, what you'll learn in that. And then actually being here. And actually, I'd say the biggest takeaway I have is the connections.
Yeah.
The new guys that I'm meeting, the new guys that I'm talking to, and then, like, just the pitter-patter conversation after the meetings and stuff. These are, like, the catalyst to the conversations you have after.
Very much so. Oh, very much so. And we're seeing that right now. Brian finished, and people are just buzzing.
That's why I was still in there. I was talking to other people and meeting up and, just having conversation.
Yeah, great experience. So your first time, for those, a lot of you know that, of course, Rick has been to DJ Expo also, and there's not a lot of us actually who've done both. So for those who are wondering, kind of give us a little comparison contrast, if you could, between one and the other.
They're not even close to the same thing. They're not even close.
Yeah.
If you're looking to learn, you're looking to better yourself, this is the show to come to.
Yeah. And not that there's not educational opportunities at DJ Expo.
There's just not the level and the variety, and it's more organized in my opinion too. But this is more heavily focused on that. Yeah,
it's really an educational based event, and this nice open social room here that after it's done, we can talk. We can come and sit down. I mean, you've seen people do that after every seminar.
I definitely had less social interactions and stuff at Expo than what I have here.
Yeah. Besides our handful of friends, that's about the because there's so many people and they come up to you in the hallway and say, "Hey, how you doing?" And that's really kind of cool.
Not that it's a bad thing though, but at Expo, my head was more focused on gear. I was thinking heavily on gear, and a lot of their seminars are gear related and stuff like that, which isn't a bad thing. I mean,
no,
gear's a great thing, but here you're just thinking high level education, all kinds of stuff like that. What you're learning.
Yeah, great stuff. For those of you who do not, Rick Webb, go out on YouTube, find his YouTube channel, and follow that. Right?
All that.
Where is it? It didn't show.
It's all on the back.
I was gonna. There we go. Yeah, you guys can see all the stuff. But yeah, go out there and find him on YouTube, and of course he's on some of the shows with us here on DJNTV. Rick, I'll let you get back to it, man.
Definitely.
Thank you. It was great seeing you.
Absolutely.
Have a safe trip back, and we will catch you later, my friend. A lot of folks made it here to Las Vegas for Mobile Beat 2019. This has been a great show, great experience and such. Yes, there's going to be, you'll hear people talking about some negative things, and we'll be talking about some of the things that could have happened better. And there's been a lot of positive things, and it depends on what you come into this show with your attitude, expectations. You come in with an open mind, you can learn a lot, you can grow, and you can meet people that you wouldn't meet anywhere else. So, they're just hanging here, and there's a level of that's true. Is that you've got people who are here that are just, it's not. I don't want to call it a party, but it's that family reunion time, and people have gotten together and they've been able to socialize and mingle and see friends, see people that they only see online. The number of folks who came up and introduced themselves. Well, thank you for those of you who did that. So I'm now putting faces and names together, and especially online names together with the face. So it was absolutely fabulous for that, and that really helps tremendously, because then a person gets to know many of you, and sometimes we were able to talk for a little while online and make it kind of that personal connection. That's what these shows are about, and that's why they get to this point and people are like, oh, I kind of don't want it to be over, but yet we all want to get home to our parents and such. So, Howard, can you jump over here?
Hi, John.
Hello, hello.
Hi, everybody. Oh,
we are here. We are live and doing our thing. So, takeaway. We're talking about basically kind of a favorite memory or something we took away from this year's show.
Well, I don't want to be cliche, but I have to say that many of these small conversations in the hallways are the difference makers. The one-on-one, the quality dialogues back and forth. There's a lot of inspiration. There's a lot of wow moments. I said this on stage, but I feel very much like a work in progress. As long as I've been doing this, I'm still learning.
Oh, yeah.
From everybody. This is just a win-win. I can't say enough. There's a wonderful value. It is worth far more than the cost of admission to attend a conference like this. Please, you owe it to yourself. In the name of betterment, you owe it to yourself. Make your way to a conference.
Yeah, really. And while Vegas is great, there are many opportunities out there you guys can definitely check out. And it's always nice to start with one and get a sample, and then you might be like some of us who hit all of them.
Yeah,
we're a little crazy sometimes, but that's part of having friends around the country and literally around the world here that we get together at these events, and that's always kind of cool. So, Howard, you headed back to Chicago?
I am. Hopefully, the strong winds will allow us to land.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for all that you do and all the good energy you put forth.
Thank you, Howard.
This is a hard-working man right here. Give it up for this man.
Yeah, thanks, Howard. I appreciate it.
Travel well.
Hey, thank you. You too, my friend, and we'll talk again. So. Yeah, we are just about ready to wrap things up here at Mobile Beat Las Vegas. We got a couple more people the lights are on. They're starting to strike the stage and things behind us, and we've got to get ourselves knocked down and out of here. But I want to thank you guys for watching and following on Instagram this week, which is out of Disc Jockey News. Everything's at Disc Jockey News. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. If there's something, I've got Disc Jockey News, Facebook, Disc Jockey News. Go check them out. There's some different videos in different spots, so you can check some things. And if you aren't following me on my personal Facebook page, go to John Young MN and click follow on that so you guys can follow when we drop some of the show links and things, because my personal page will probably show you a show link before some of the other pages do. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. So anyway, thank you once again for being with us tonight. I'm going to wrap things up, and I've got to go and come over here and click to move that. And Michael, click that mouse in just a second, please. This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News, Disc Jockey News TV, coming to you live from Las Vegas, wrapping up Mobile Beat 2019. Bye, everyone.